Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad's Sunday Lectures, brought to you by the Nation of Islam, Muhammad's Temple Unite. This Sunday's lecture will be brought to you by Brother Secretary Daniel Shabazz. Assalamu alaikum. For those of you who are tuning in and joining us for your very first time, here at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, we're taught to open up all our meetings in prayer. So at this time, we'd ask that everyone stand at attention in a position of prayer. And for those of you joining us for our very first time, here at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, we're taught to pray in this manner, with our standing erect, with our heels touching at a 45-degree angle, our hands extended as if we're receiving a gift, our heads slightly bowed and our eyes closed to this wicked world. For those of you who know the prayer, say along with me. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, Master and Savior of this day of judgment in which we now live. To Thee alone do we serve, and to Thee alone do we beseech for Thine aid. O Allah, guide us along the right path, the path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed Thy favor, and not on the path of those upon whom Thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who have gone astray after they have heard Thy teachings. Ameen. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we can never give enough thanks and praise to Almighty God Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and for raising in our midst a leader, teacher, and guide. And I speak none other than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And in those two great men's name, I greet you all once again in our greeting words of paradise in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. My name is Brother Daniel Shabazz, Secretary here at Muhammad's Temple Islam, Muhammad's Temple United. And I'm not your minister today, but I am standing in place of our beloved minister who was unable to present his lecture today. And he sends you all the greeting. Okay, brothers and sisters, for those of you attending for your very first time, I always like to get you a little acquainted with Muhammad's Temple Sunday lectures. For those of you who have never attended a Muhammad's Temple meeting, this is a little unorthodox because we are casting online. However, if you were to attend a Muhammad Sunday lecture, what you will find is that we are unlike the church. Many of us are used to going to church services full of praise and worship. Well, here at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, one thing you're going to notice is that we don't have a band or a choir. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that a band and a choir and the musical instruments will all serve as a distraction. And here at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, we prevent all distractions from entering our meetings. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the temple is a place of learning, and he designed it in the way of a classroom setting. And this is why you don't see the band and the choir. Because, and also we do have a search procedure. And this is not to offend anyone, but it is just to keep the peace in our meetings and to keep all distractions out. So just like any other important meeting or class, all devices that will cause any nuisance or distraction will not be permitted. The reason being, we want your full and undivided attention. As I stated, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Muhammad's temple is a place of learning. And that is our main purpose of holding these meetings, to teach and train our people. We want our people to leave here not just with a good feeling as you are used to when you go to a church service full of the singing, praising, and dancing and worshiping, but we want you to leave home with an understanding, because that is most important when it comes to the truth and the word of God. Getting an understanding. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that out of all thy getting, get an understanding. And anybody with intelligence will agree with that. When you go to school, what is your main purpose at school? It's to learn. Is that correct? Well, okay. Here at Muhammad's Temple of Islam is the same goal and purpose, is to learn. So, again, brothers and sisters, I'm just filling in for our minister, and I pray, Allah, that you will gain some type of understanding, and I will be able to give you some, I'll serve you a good purpose today. Another thing you will notice is our actual facts board. This actual facts board was given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it's called an actual facts board because everything you see on it is an actual fact. We're not going to go into this today because I want to, for the sake of time, I want to make sure that we can get through our lecture in the proper amount of time, because we understand the importance of time. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us about time, and we don't want to waste or prolong any of your time. Here on this actual facts board, we have two of the world's largest or greatest religions, Christianity and Islam. And underneath Christianity and Islam, you have two flags which represent both nations. You have the American flag underneath Christianity. And then you have the crescent moon and star underneath Islam. And underneath the two flags, you have what they represent. Underneath the American flag, you have slavery, suffering, and death, and the symbol of the cross. Underneath Islam, in the crescent moon and star, you have freedom, justice, and equality. Again, brothers and sisters, I'm not going to go into that today. However, I'm just brushing up on it. Well, brothers and sisters, at another time, we will go deeper into that flag. But today, I want to get into our topic. And it is a very important topic. Every topic that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us is very important. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a man that was taught and raised by Allah himself, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And he risen the messenger of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad up to deliver us a message. It is a message and a warning to us. We are the last people to receive a messenger and a warner. And we have to understand the time and why we were given a messenger. to raise us up. We were considered a dead people. Not physically dead, but mentally dead. Dead to the knowledge of self. Dead to the knowledge of who we were. Dead to the knowledge of where we come from. Dead to the knowledge of our God, our religion, our culture. We were dead to the knowledge of the devil. So Allah had to come raise us up, as the scriptures in the Bible teach us that the dead must rise first. The dead must rise first. All our lives we've been taught in the church that the dead was going to come out of the grave. The physical dead was going to rise. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that that is so far from the truth. And he also says that if that were to happen, everybody would run for their lives. You wouldn't want to see no dead body come out of the grave. You would get scared. You would run. Just like in them horror movies most of y'all love to watch. Anyway, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that it is a mental resurrection that must take place. And it's taking place right now. Many of our people are waking up to the knowledge of who they are. And we can give no thanks or credit to none other than Master Farad Muhammad for bringing us these teachings and giving it to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to deliver to us. So today I want to talk about what we must do for self and kind. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we must do something for self. You know, it is very important that we learn this lesson because we are under the foot of the American government. The white man has never had intentions on returning us back where they got us and giving us back what we had lost. They set us free, and I put that in air quotes. They set us free, but they never gave us back what they took from us. So you got to think, brothers and sisters, after 400 years of serving as a slave to the slave master, and they finally let you go for free. Say, all right, nigga, go on, you're free. What did we do? Where did we go? We didn't have nowhere to go. They didn't send no boats over here to come get us. Africa didn't come get us. Asia didn't come get us. Nobody came and got us. So what did we do? We walked from Master Joe's house, plantation, until we got tired and didn't want to walk no more and ended up on Master Williams' plantation. So neither one of them gave us a knowledge of ourselves, who we were. All that time, do you think that the slave master taught us a knowledge of ourselves? Nope. He gave us religion, his religion. That's the only thing that the slave master gave us besides slavery, suffering, and death. They gave us Christianity in the Bible and their interpretation of it. We didn't have an interpretation from our people. We got it from them. So how could a people who were so unjust to us, and look at this picture, by the way, this brother's hanging on a tree. I don't know if you can see it from the camera's angle. There's a brother hanging on a tree. And that's what that was something we suffered under the hands of this nation here, America. You know, the white man didn't treat us just. So how could we expect him to give us a right religion? If he treated us so wicked and foul, how did we expect or think that he was going to give us anything of good? But us being raised under him for 400 years, generation after generation, of not knowing anything but what he taught us. You got to think, brothers and sisters, 400 years is a long time to teach somebody, right? Think about it like this. You got experts that go to college and school, right? In 4 years, you can get a degree and be an expert at a thing, certain things. Is that right? So that's just in 4 years. Now, multiply that by 100. 400 years of teaching and training and shaping our minds to be slaves. They wiped our minds clean. This is why today we are wandering around just like the scriptures teaches about us. We're wandering in the wilderness, wandering, trying to find our way. Many of us are seeking to find ourselves. We don't know ourselves. So we're grabbing onto anything and everything we can just to find an identity. We want to be Israelites. We want to be Pan-Africanists. We want to be this, and everything but who we truly are, because we don't know. And we can't blame our people for searching. We want to know. So this is why Allah risen up us a messenger, came to teach us a knowledge of who we are. And that is a great thing to know, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us the worst thing you can do to a man is rob him of the knowledge of self. So now that we were put in this condition, we were considered dead. It's just like a man with amnesia. Is that right? What did they call him? John Doe, because he don't know his name. He's labeled clinically dead. Clinically dead. He's not physically dead, but he's clinically dead because he doesn't have an identity. He don't know where he is. He don't know who he is. He don't know the day, the time. And that's just like us today. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't even know the day and time on different levels. On one level, we don't know the day and time because we're going off of a calendar that was made up. We're going off of this European calendar that they gave us, that they made up. Then on another case, we don't know the time is the end. It is time for us to return to our own, to be put back into our rightful place. And we don't know that. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to teach us and train us and guide us back into ourselves. Teach us the knowledge of God and the devil, the true knowledge of God and the true knowledge of the devil, because it was the devil who taught us about God. Again, brothers and sisters, we didn't know about any God until the slave master taught us about God. And again, ask yourself this: why would the slave master teach his slave something of good after mistreating him all his life? So now, what is it that we need to do for self? Now that we know that what we got today, it came from our oppressors and the slave owners, right? What do we do from here? As you look around today, look at America. Ask yourself this: do America look like the mighty nation that it once was? Or does it look like it's falling apart? I want y'all to put y'all magnifying glasses up to America. Look at the history and look at where we are today. Put your glasses on. Look at American history and look where we are today. And you will be able to see this country is falling, as it was written it would. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Master Farad Muhammad promised to push this devil into the lake of fire and destroy America, as is written in the Bible, where it talks about the destruction of the world by fire. of this world by far. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Allah is destroying this world, and he's going to destroy this world in degrees, as we're watching and witnessing today. You see the weather, storms, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, volcanoes, you name it. Allah is angry, and he is setting his destruction upon America, right? So, being that America is falling, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that there are many ways that this country is going to fall financially. We're watching the American dollar fall, decrease. Is that right? Declining. He wrote on the decline of the dollar. He taught us also about calamities. He taught us about the day of want. What is the day of want? The day of want. Think about it. It's going to be a day you're going to want. You're going to wish you had. Food shortages. Power outages. What are we going to do, brothers and sisters, when your town has no electricity? What are we going to do when your town has no water, has no food sources, when the stores are shut down? We got a small glimpse of that during the COVID. When COVID first hit, when the shutdown came, we got a small glimpse of what, and that's nothing compared to what's coming. And we never know where disaster may strike, where Allah may cause the cattle, the food. If you're paying attention now, farmers are complaining all across America. And so there's a shortage of food. Look at what's going on overseas. America's at war. She's at war. She has enemies everywhere. All of her allies are now turning into her foes. All of the countries that she used to bully, that she used to get resources from, are now turning against her. So I ask you, brothers and sisters, where does that leave us? The black nation here in the wilderness of North America. We have to be honest with ourselves, brothers and sisters. We are at the bottom of civilization already. We've been at the bottom of civilization when America was at its greatest. So while America was rich and wealthy, and we were at the bottom of civilization, suffering, what do you think is going to happen when they are brought from the top down to the bottom? You think that it's going to be a great day of kumbaya and we're going to all come to band together as they do in the movies? And you think America is really going to care about us then? Do they care about us now? Did they care about us 10 years ago? Ask yourself this, brothers and sisters. So this leaves us with some things to solve. We're already at the bottom of civilization. We already don't have anything. So what's going to happen when America loses everything? Where is that going to leave us? So if we're not thinking ahead, do you think that we're going to be able to survive this? Remember that great question over here on this board? Which one will survive the War of Armageddon? I don't know if you all are reading that with what type of understanding you may be getting out of that, but there's an important word here. It's called survive, right here. It doesn't say which one will win the War of Armageddon. It said which one will survive the War of Armageddon. So that lets us know survival is at hand. We need to think survival. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us enough to prepare ourselves for the day of want. And he told us, one, unity. We must unite. He didn't say, oh, we can unite. We might unite. We should unite. No, brothers and sisters, he said, we must unite. And then he followed up with this, and do something for self. Not just unite, but unite and do something for self. You know, it saddens me today here in 2020, now 2024, to hear some of these so-called believers, you know, that don't want unity. They just want to be united in belief. But that's not going to work for us today. That's not a way to survive. Belief alone counts for nothing unless carried into practice. Right? In the church, they used to say, faith without works is dead. Without works, it's going to take some work. We're going to have to unite and work. We can't just rely on unity under the belief of Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Islam is a working man's religion. That means there's work to do. We have to come together and build. We have to go to work, brothers and sisters. He was also asked a question, and they asked him, if you know that the end is coming, why are you doing all this building? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad replied and said, yeah, we know the end is coming, but we still have to eat for today. We don't know what day Allah gonna decide to gather us up and take us out of here and destroy this country. We know it's coming. We know it's coming for a fact. But until then, we have to eat today. We are not like some who will sit back and just pray and sit and wait for God to come. And if you're going to sit and wait for something to bring you some bread for you to eat, wait for someone to come clothe you, you're going to be in some bad shape. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to get up and go to work. Get busy. It's a big field that awaits the wide awakened man. And we got to go to work, brothers and sisters. Yes, we know that the time is up for this devil. We see it. We see the destruction happening all over. But we have to prepare ourselves. And brothers and sisters, many of us we're gonna need each other. Our unity is important, brothers and sisters. So let me move on in my lecture. I want to quote something from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad out of his book called The Message to the Black Man in America. The Message to the Black Man in America. I advise every black man and woman in America and outside of America to get this book. This is a very important book to have. And if you need this book, if you don't have a copy of this book, please contact us so we can help you get one, because this is a very important and powerful book to have. This was written by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and inside it is the message given to him by Master Fard Muhammad to deliver to us. Now, in the Message to the Black Man on page 301, the messenger says this, and this comes from a chapter called Build Our Own Society. Okay? The messenger writes, why are you talking freedom, justice, and equality if you do not like to be separated from the people whom you and your fathers are dependent? Do you think an independent nation is going to make you its equal while you will not accept your own responsibility to provide for your own? Can you blame America for rejecting you as her equal in excuse me, can you blame America for rejecting you as her equal when you are going to this extreme trying to force her to accept you instead of forcing self and your people to be independent? That is a powerful, powerful chap. Uh, um, that's a powerful paragraph, brothers and sisters. I didn't read the whole chapter, but just that paragraph alone has a lot of power in it. He started off with a question. He said, why are you talking freedom, justice, and equality if you do not like to be separated from the people whom you and your fathers are dependent? How can you talk about freedom, justice, and equality while you still holding on to the people who are keeping you dependent? That don't make no sense, brothers and sisters. And that's us today. That's our people. We still holding on to the people that have done us this way, has gave us slavery, suffering, and death. They never offered us anything else. If they were really just and fair, they would have offered us back what they took from us. Wouldn't that be just? That's justice. If I take something from you, right, and I keep it for so long, and then I change my mind, I want to do something right, and I want to be righteous, and I say, okay, you know what? I apologize. And I ask my forgiveness, and the righteous thing for me to do is give it back to you. Say, here, I apologize for taking it. And in fact, I'm going to give you even more just for you waiting 400 years for it. That would be a just thing for America to do. But no, she has not done that. You know, when we look at America, we can see it falling. It's falling apart by the decline of the dollar, to gas shortages, food shortages, housing market crashing, along with the stock market. So what does that mean for the so-called African Americans? What does that mean for us? We need to really think about this, brothers and sisters. This is very serious. This is not nothing to play around with. Brothers and sisters, we have to look at this. America is losing power over all the nations. Now, remember when America was the most mightiest nation in the world, everybody respected America. Everybody bowed down to America. Do she get that same respect today? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that America is losing her luster over the world. She's losing her grip. And this is what's making America so angry. And just like a cat with their back against the wall, what happens when you corner a cat? It becomes more dangerous. Is that right? We can't count America out. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that this devil is about the most powerfulest thing in the world, because she is advanced and well equipped, and brags about being able to destroy the world 3 to 5 times over. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said she could, if Allah allowed her. Signal, but if you pay attention to what's going on in the White House, you can see all the way from the top, they are struggling. They can't make a sound decision. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that in the Fall of America. He talks about that they won't even be able to make a sound decision. Allah is causing them to be confused. And as they lose everything, they're going to become more dangerous. This is a wicked person wicked people we talking about. They didn't conquer the world off of righteousness. They didn't gain the fear of the world by giving out gifts and feeding the homeless or doing righteous deeds. No, they gained the fear of the world and the respect of other nations by being the most wicked and the most dangerous. You know, there's a saying that I hear brothers from California say, stay dangerous, huh? That's what America is thinking right now. They want to stay dangerous. They want to keep all the nations in fear of them. And guess what, brothers and sisters? They want to keep you and I in fear of them. But I want to let you know that Allah is here and he's on our side. Allah is on our side today, so we don't have to fear no more. If anything, the devil needs to fear us. We don't need to fear the devil anymore. Now, with this devil losing everything, we must look at ourselves and say, where are we going to be when it all comes falling down? I say to you, my brothers and sisters, that we have been warned. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us to separate ourselves from our enemies. We must be separated. Separate and unite. We must unite and do something for ourselves. You know, it's just like, it reminds me of that scripture that says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be on the coming of the Son of Man. That is describing us here in America. It's describing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There was never a time that the earth flooded for 40 days and 40 nights. And the whole earth was underwater. That never happened. There's no historical record of that ever happening. You got to remember, this Bible is not even that old. So those things that, if you take that, how far back did that go? When did that happen? It never happened, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's all symbolic. And as we look around today, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad built an ark for us. He built an ark and called us in to safety. Many of us rejected, and today still reject the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it's not going to be until the water comes down and the doors are shut. You know, when Noah called the people, they laughed at Noah. They mocked him. Oh, Noah don't know what he's talking about. They're talking about it's going to rain. It's sunny outside. They're out partying, drinking, having fun, you know, doing all the things under the sun that you see today. And it wasn't until, you know, just like today, you see the disbelievers saying, oh, Muhammad, he don't know what he's talking about. Elijah Muhammad this. Oh, they throwing all kind of foul dirt on the man's name. And it's not going to be until the day that those ark doors are closed. That's why the scripture says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. It's like that today. Here we are with the truth from Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad to raise us up a messenger. This messenger has been here, he taught for over 40 plus years, right? He taught for 40 plus years. And our people rejected him. Many of our people rejected him. Just like today, y'all rejected him. We here telling you to come, join unto your own. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with us telling you to reclaim your own, accept your own? What is wrong with that, brothers and sisters? Why does that sound like it's a bad idea? It sounds like a great idea to me for people who didn't know their own to accept their own. Why do we want to stay under the foot of another nation when we are a nation of ourselves, of our own? Why are we satisfied at the bottom of civilization when we can rise like cream to the top? We want to stay at the bottom of the foot of this country, begging. Like Lazarus. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that story of Lazarus is symbolic of the black man and woman here in America, lying at the gate of the rich man. We over here lying at the gate of the government of this nation, begging. Well, just like Noah, when the law told him to close those doors, he wasn't allowed to open them doors. So will it be with us, trying to get you to come in. Not going to be able to open the doors, because just like Noah, if he would have opened the doors, he would have risked the lives of everybody on the boat. Everybody on the ship would have died. So he couldn't risk his family, and the animals to save those who did not want to come, that rejected him. And that's going to be it. That was, just imagine this. That was a sad thing and a hard thing for anybody to deal with. To have to close those doors and hear the screams and hollers of people outside, and knowing what the outcome is going to be. You know that their death is after them. And you hear them screaming, oh, and banging on the door, open the door. And you hear screams and shouts and moans and people drowning and suffering. You know what's going on, but you can't open them doors. This is us today, brothers and sisters. Y'all think we just over here preaching to y'all just for clout or just for just to sound good? No, we really care. We do this out of love for you. There's other things that we could be doing, but we over here doing this for you, brothers and sisters. And it's sad. It's going to be a sad day that no man wishes for when Allah destroys this country. And those of you who reject him, to see that is going to be a sad day. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, don't pray for that day, because you're going to be sad when you see your loved ones, your friends that you used to hang with, people you cared about that rejected the truth and end up suffering because of it. And that's going to be a sad day to see them destroyed with the enemies. Brothers and sisters, don't wait till it's too late. Come now. We must separate from our enemies. We must separate from our enemies. Just like the Bible teaches us about the wheat and the tare. Allah must separate the wheat from the tare. If not, if he don't separate them, he's going to destroy them all. So he's separating us from our enemies. We must be separated so we don't get destroyed along with our enemies. And we must do something for ourselves. We need some land that we can call our own. Some land that we can produce our own foods out of. Some land that we can produce our own clothing and shelter. We need our own. We need our own hospitals. We need to care for our own sick and wounded. We can't trust these devils. We see stories and things happening all the time. We should have learned by now we can't trust them. So we need our own. You see what's happening in these schools all across the country. There was just a mass shooting the other day. We need our own schools. Keep our children safe, to teach our children a knowledge of themselves. educate them with the best of education. We all can agree and admit today's education is garbage. They're not teaching our children anything in schools, in public schools. So we have to take these into our own hands. We need to produce our own jobs, employ our own people. We can't continue to live off this country, brothers and sisters. As I said earlier, and as you can see, this country is falling and it's doomed. This country is doomed. Even the white folks in the higher ups are saying that it's to the point where there's no reversing. It'll never be the same. It's not going to go back to the same as it was. You're not going to see the same old America. So the messenger warned us. He said that we must do something for ourselves because soon America won't be able to do nothing for us, even if they wanted to. Meaning he's not going to have any, the reason why, because he just ain't going to have it to give to us. Not that he don't want to do something for us, but just because he ain't going to have it to do anything for us. So that leaves us with a question. What can we do? What can we do, Brother Daniel? What do we do? Well, I say, come join unto your own and let us work together. Let us unite under the banner of Islam. And let us do something for ourselves. Let's stop begging. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Let's come together and do something for self. Our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. And that's a quote from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's how powerful our unity is. Together, we can accomplish anything. And there's been proof of that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad showed us this. He was a great example for you and I today. And this is why the Master Farad Muhammad, all praise is due to Allah, Allah in the person, had risen the messenger up for us to be an example, to lead us. What's a better leader than one who is an example? They say the best teacher is what? Experience, right? Well, one who has that experience, who is an example, is the better teacher for you and I. So if we look at his example on what he has done for you and I, we can see that he had the best solution for us. So again, you may ask, well, what do we do, Brother Daniel? I'm going to repeat. Come and join unto your own. That's right. Accept your own and be yourself, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. Accept your own. Be yourself. What is self? A righteous Muslim. Come accept your own. Because as I stated, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad being a perfect example for us, how did he become so successful? How was he able to accomplish what he accomplished? He had Allah with him. And what did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach us? He said that Allah will be with us too. All we have to do is follow the blueprint, follow his steps. He was in total submission to the will of Allah. That's what we have to do, brothers and sisters. Submit. Accept your own and be yourself. A righteous Muslim. What is a Muslim? One who submits his or her will to do the will of Almighty God, Allah. God. So when you submitting your entire will to do the will of God, he is with you. He is with us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us the perfect solution and showed us by example what a man can do. Here we are talking about a little bitty man. He wasn't no big, strong man. Little bitty man with a third grade education. He didn't make it past the third grade. So he wasn't a highly educated man. He wasn't a big man. And matter of fact, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when Master Farad Muhammad found him. He was in the mud so deep it was up to his eyeballs. He was drunk. They say he used to get drunk. And it wasn't until Master Farad Muhammad taught him, put his mind inside of him, and gave him the knowledge and wisdom that made a man with a third grade education stomp mud holes in theologians, scholars, scientists. He marveled the world. How? Because he had Allah with him. And just as an example to show us the power of Allah, let's look at some of his accomplishments. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to build a nation within a nation, and not just any nation, the most powerful nation on the world, on the earth. He built a nation inside of the most powerful nation on the earth at a time when black men were still getting hung and lynched on trees. This man, little man, stood before the world and told the world that the white man is the devil. You got to ask yourself, what gave this man the courage to do something like that? Do you know that in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, black people were shocked to hear this man speak? And it put a shockwave around the world. And to see this little man with all of this wisdom stand before the world, tell the world the white man is the devil, at a time when brothers were getting killed for less than that. You got to ask yourself, wow, what kind of God was behind him? Who was with him? Because there was those before him that made attempts. They made good efforts and good tries, but they weren't as successful. There were those after him. Even today, 2024, you can't name a leader or an organization that has done even equal to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to accomplish. Not even equal, let alone surpass what he has done. Let's examine this for a second. Okay? Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he built a nation that produced its own food with over 400 acres of farmland, with the most fertile cows in the world. We had the most fertile cows in the world. Now think about it, over 400 acres of farmland with the most fertile cows in the world, with the cleanest chickens. We grew fruits, vegetables, and cotton. Yes, sir. We grew cotton. And all of this, which supplied chains of your supermarkets across the country. That's right, we had supermarkets across the country. It supplied Salam restaurants. Those farms supplied Salam bakeries, steak and takes, and even more. All at affordable prices for our people. This is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to do for us. Under his leadership, we were able to get these foods and groceries at a cheap and affordable price because he loved our people and he didn't want to overcharge us. He didn't want us breaking ourselves. He wanted us to have something. He wanted us to go spend and shop with one another and go home with some change left over. He didn't want to break us. And the cotton from the farm supplied thread and fabric. Yes, brothers and sisters, we had our own thread. We produced our own thread. That's something. When I found out about that, I kind of was like, wow, that's deep. You know, we were producing our own thread and our own fabric material. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had our own cotton press. We were able to press cotton, make t-shirts and our shirts, the material to make our suits. We had clothing stores. And this is all done under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And also under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had the largest fishing company in the United States. And you can look it up, it's on record. The Whiting H&G sold more fish than any other fishing company in America. And that's on record again. You can look that up. You know, the Messenger was the first to bring the whiting fish to America. That's another thing. The first to bring the whiting fish to America, to the shores of America. And the fish was sold to our people at the cheapest price. In fact, he even guaranteed the lowest price on the fish. And he said, and he made a guarantee offer that if you find a fish cheaper than his, he said he'll give it to you for free. Woo! Ain't that some good business, brothers and sisters? We can't find a businessman like that no more. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had affordable housing for our people, apartment homes, commercial property, residential property communities. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we were able to afford these houses. He didn't want to overcharge us again, brothers and sisters. He wanted us to have something. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had imports and exports, shipping and receiving. Yes, brothers and sisters, we had our own imports and exports. We had merchandise coming in on boats and merchandise going out on boats all around the world. That is something powerful right there. Imports and exports. Can you imagine that? So think about it like this. We were doing what FedEx and what's that other one? Amazon doing now back then in the 70s. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had canning factories where we canned our own goods, our own sardines, soups, and beans. We canned our own food. We packaged our own food. We had packaging factories where we packaged our own goods. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had our own construction companies to develop on the land and properties that we acquired. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had schools to educate our children. We had Muhammad's universities all across the country. Under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's leadership, we had a bank to keep all our assets safe. Think about it, brothers and sisters. We had our own bank. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had an airline. That's right, we provided safe air travel for our people. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we were in the planning stages of a hospital. All these things under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are things that make a nation. I hope you all are taking this in because it blows my mind just to think about all of this that we had. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had the #1 reforming program in America, cleaning our people up, getting them off drugs, dope, alcohol, making modest women out of our sisters, and making fearless protectors and providers out of our men. And that's just a sample of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the power of Allah look like. For a black man to stand in America and a time where black men and women were being mistreated in the worst way publicly. He was able to do all of this for us. Now, at that time, you got to think, what kind of God was behind Elijah Muhammad? I want that type of God that helped him raise a nation, gave him knowledge to teach and resurrect the minds of the black men. He changed the minds and the thinking of the black nation. And all over the world, we see that there wouldn't be a such thing as a conscious community if it wasn't for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Many don't want to give that brother credit, but they have to respect him, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for all that he's done for our people. You know, you got to ask yourself this: why wasn't he assassinated? All that I just named that he has done, the devil cannot assassinate him. Not saying that they didn't try. They made attempts, but they weren't able to harm one hair on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, even when they had him in prison. They had the opportunity to, but Allah was with him. And again, brothers and sisters, Allah will be with us if we follow the footsteps of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is what he was risen to teach us, to follow him. He had the master plan. He had the best successful plan for our people. There is no other plan better than his. So I ask you, why not? Why not follow him? With a successful rate that he had, it only makes sense to anybody with a brain to go in that direction. Think about it, brothers and sisters. You know, now here we are in 2024. And again, you might ask, well, brother Daniel, when he built all of that, where'd it go? I have a better question for you. Why not unite under the crescent moon and star, banner of Islam, and submit to Allah and unite with us? Let us all unite together and do something for ourselves. How about that? That's a better question. Because there's nothing else that's gonna be out there for us that's gonna get us to that level. There's nothing else that's even equivalent to that. And I challenge anyone to show me anything that is equivalent to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, or better. If you can prove to me that there's another program better than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's program, I'll join you. I'll give up everything. Matter of fact, we all will give up everything, that all of us who believe, and we'll follow y'all. If you have a better program, you won't find one. That's guaranteed. There was no other program before him or after him that was equivalent to his program. We tried everything. You look around today, the Nation of Islam don't have what it used to have. Don't even have the respect that it used to have. Don't have that luster that we used to have. You know, and that's due to the nation going in all of these different directions. We've tried everything. And guess what, brothers and sisters? Everything has failed us. So why not turn back to what was working? Again, it's not rocket science. That's logical thinking. Why not use the program that worked? Why are we trying all of this other stuff? We didn't need to add nothing to it. We didn't need to take nothing away from it. And that's where the Nation of Islam went wrong. Look at the Nation of Islam today. We have to go back to the basics, brothers and sisters. We have to go back to the root. And this is why we're not successful as we once were. Now all you see is a bunch of good talkers, good speeches. That's it. And brothers are leading our people this way and that way. And this is why it all failed. Everything has failed us. Our people have been failing for many years. We tried everything. We thought that we can do something outside of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, and it failed us. The church failed us. We tried the military. Military failed us. We tried sports. We tried marching. We tried boycotting. We tried peaceful protesting. We tried rioting. We tried begging. We tried the street life. We tried leaving the country, running to Africa. We tried leaving the country, going to the islands in South America. We tried the NAACP. We tried the Black Panthers. We tried Black Lives Matter. We tried Dianetics. We tried Scientology. We tried spirituality. We tried being Hebrew Israelites. We tried everything and they all failed us. Nothing, no other program has gave us success other than what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us by way of Almighty God Allah, Master Farad Muhammad. And brothers and sisters, I have to tell you this, that there will be no success from neither one of us unless we turn back to Allah. Don't you see the world is being destroyed? Allah is destroying this nation and destroying those that follow this nation. So if we don't turn back and get our nation and get our house straight, we're going to be destroyed along with it. We're going to be like all these other groups that we tried and failed. That's right, brothers and sisters. We have to turn back to what Allah had given us through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's the only program that's going to work for us. That has been proven to work for us. And I challenge anybody to show me another program outside of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that worked. You ain't going to find one. Because if there was one, you had 40 plus years to get one, to show us some type of proof. It's been, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed away in 1975. It is 2024, and we haven't seen a program yet that can match it. Not even close. And I challenge anyone that can prove that there was. I challenge you. I want to see that. There is none, brothers and sisters. The only way we're going to get success is through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's program. So I ask you, brothers and sisters, come and join unto your own. Accept your own and be yourself. Let us unite, brothers and sisters, under the banner of Islam. Freedom, justice, and equality. True freedom, justice, and equality for our people. And let us rebuild. Let us go to work. Let us do something for self so we can secure ourselves when it all hits the fan. And don't sit around waiting. We don't have a lot of time, brothers and sisters. Time is not on our side. We on Allah's time. And we need to go ahead and start moving. So, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for tuning in to Muhammad's Sunday Lecture, brought to you by the Lost Foundation of Islam, Muhammad's Temple United. As we do each week, we are thankful to have each and every one of you who are supporting and who are viewing these important lectures. And we pray a lot that you come back. For those of you who believe what you heard today is the truth and would like to accept your own and reclaim your own, we ask you to contact us. Give us your information. Let us connect so we can get you to the right place and you can reclaim your own. You know, it doesn't take much to reclaim your own. You know, you don't have to pay your way in to reclaiming your own. You don't have to get jumped in like them gangs. It's not a gang. It's not a fraternity. You don't have to go through embarrassing hazing and then you don't have to go through any rituals to reclaim your own. You don't have to join anything. The only thing you have to do is accept your own and be yourself. So I say to you, brothers and sisters, it's time. It's time for us to unite and do something for ourselves. So if you would like to join us in unity, contact us. We'll be providing some information as this lecture ends. So stay tuned to the end of the broadcast, and there'll be some information provided on how you can contact us and reclaim your own. Now, we do know that there's no nation that is ran without finances. So we're asking your help in donating to the cause to help us continue to spread this truth for our people. And also so we can come together and pool our resources and do something for ourselves. So we can store up for the day of want. So our people don't have to be begging, robbing, and stealing. Let us do something for self. Let us put this Muhammad's economic program to work. So we ask that you help us by donating, brothers and sisters. We don't want your money to go buy luxurious cars. We don't want your money to go buy private jets. We don't want your money to go and take expensive trips and lavish trips, vacations. We want to pool our resources so we can build something for ourselves. Remember that list of all the accomplishments that I provided from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All of those were done through our people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad never robbed our people. And this is why he was very successful. And with the law behind him, he was able to accomplish all of those things. And we can do a lot for ourselves today. So this concludes today's lecture, brothers and sisters. I pray, Allah, that some of you have gotten some understanding. And again, we ask that you come back. Next week, bring a friend. Invite a family member. Share it. Because this is important, brothers and sisters. This knowledge and this truth must get out to our people. And we're asking your help. Okay, brothers and sisters, at this time, we're going to close out in prayer. So we ask everyone to stand in the position of prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praises due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds, the Beneficent, the most merciful Master and Savior of this day of judgment in which we now live. To Thee alone do we serve, and to Thee alone do we beseech for Thine aid. O Allah, guide us along the right path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed Thy favors, and not on the path of those upon whom Thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who have gone astray after they have heard Thy teachings. Say, He, Allah, is one God. Allah is He of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He neither begets nor is He begotten, and there is none like unto Him. And I bear witness that there is none to be served or worshipped beside Thee, Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is Thy true servant and last apostle to we, the lost and found nation, here in the wilderness of North America. Ameen. Again, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in. And we know that there's many places that you can be. And we are thankful to have you here with us, learning the truth about yourself and about your nation and about your God and about the devil, the enemy. And I pray Allah continue to bless, guide, and protect us. So till next week or until we meet again, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. And I leave you in our greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
If you believe what you are taught today on Islam is true, and you would like to learn more or you are ready to accept and reclaim your own, contact the Lost Foundation of Islam Muhammad's Temple United at 623-312-4352. Again, that's 623-312-4352. We thank you for joining us today and we ask that you return next Sunday and invite your family and friends. We ask your support so that we may continue to get the truth out to our people. You may contribute by donating to our Cash App at $MT United. That's $MT United.
The Lost and Found Nation of Islam, Muhammad's Temple United, is seeking to unite with all of the believers in temples across the country. If you are a member or a part of a temple, or if you have a temple, contact us and let us unite one nation under one way of life, Islam as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't see your city or state? Let's change that. Let's unite and put your temple on the map of unity. Let us not come together in unity in belief only, but let us come together and unify as one in practice. The time is now, black man and woman. Your nation awaits you. Assalamu alaikum.